everyone. So I'm going to start a new series here. It's going to be a third-person character setup in Unity. So to start off, I'm going to first you need to, once you have Unity installed, you double-click the icon, and this window should pop up. And when that does pop up, you press New Project, and it prompts you to select a built-in render pipeline. I'm going to give my project name. This is going to be called Female Warrior Tutorial. I'm going to set the location, which is right here. I'm going to put it below my other project. And create project. That should take a moment. When the project is created, this is what should pop up. First of all, I'm gonna go into here. There's an assets folder. So what I'm going to do is from my old project, I'm going to copy and paste this template. So Control C. The reason why I'm copying and pasting is when you go inside, it's got a whole bunch of other folders. I don't like creating this over and over again, so I just create a template. And I'm going to create another one. I'm going to rename this Female Warrior. And right away I'm going to go into the models folder, and I'm going to grab from my Blender project Warrior BX. My default goes in there, and for the animations, today I'm just going to worry about idle walk. Idle run walk. And I'll put those in the animation folder. So when I go back in, it automatically it shows all the contents of the folders. This is very different from Unreal, where you have to constantly import everything. This one just does it automatically. So I'm going to go into game object, and I'm going to create a 3D object, a plane, and I'll scale it up to something nice and big. Click on this this chain link here to scale all the values together. I'll make this like 50. You can go into game object, or you can just right click. I'm going to create an empty object, and I'm going to name it Female Warrior. And down on the left here, I'm going to grab in the models folder the default pose. I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to parent it under the female empty object that I created. I'm going to right click, create another empty object. I'll call this camera. Let's call it camera. And this is just an empty object, so I'm going to take the actual camera and I'm going to parent it under the camera empty object. Another thing that I want to do is I want to go into the animator folder. I'm going to right click, create animation or animator controller, and I'll call this female warrior underscore animator. I'm going to double click it. This pops up. Right click under the create state. I want to create from new blend tree. Double click that and click on this blend tree. I want to click this plus to add motion field. I'll do it twice more. And when I do 3 of them, it gives you 0 to 1 and 1 in between value. So for the first one is going to be idle animation. So the name of the, unfortunately it doesn't tell you the name here for some reason. You have to look down here, so I'm going to use this one. And 0.5 is going to be walk, and value 1 is going to be run. So when I click on base layer, it goes back to this graph here. You can just double click at any time and just go back to base layer. So when I go back to the scene, I have female warrior selected. I want to add a component. Alright, so when I go to models, on the right, you have to create an avatar. So where it says avatar definition, I'm just going to create it from this model and then apply. And in the animations folder, for the idle, walk, and run, these are all looping, so I need to go to animation, click on loop time, apply, same thing for run, loop time, apply, and for the walk, loop time, apply. If I don't do this, then the animation just plays once instead of playing continuously. Okay, so I'm going to select the female warrior again, where the animator is. So I need to specify the avatar that I just created, and I also need to specify the controller, which is the female warrior controller. It's the exact same one that's in the animator folder down here. I should also probably show you when you go into the animator blend tree with the blend tree selected, and you press this play button, you can see the it's idling, but as soon as I press play, it goes from walk to run. For some reason the walk is scaling up, so I'm going to try a different one. Try that. Oh, it still scales up. Okay, so I changed the animation, so when I play now, it doesn't scale up. So when I go to 0.5, it walks, and we'll go all the way to 1, it runs. I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to change this name to speed. as you can see, this value here is this value here. And I'm going to go back here, press female aware, and I need to add a character controller. I'm going to click on this this thing here, that there's a cube in the middle. You click it, it goes into orthographic. I'm going to go into side view. It's easier to see the character controller capsule. So the radius, I'm going to completely eyeball this. 0.2. Move it in the Y. The height is oops. That should be good. So if you're Maya users, the controls are the exact same as Maya. And with that done, I'm going to save project, and I'm also going to save as I need to save the sample scene. So when you create a new project, it automatically creates a sample scene. Quickly, I'll just show you. Go to edit project settings, and on the left hand side, yeah, under software, input manager, and when you press this little triangle, it has all the preset sort of inputs. So for the horizontal, it's the A and D, so A for forward and D for backwards, and A for left and D for right, and the vertical W is for forward and S is for backwards. And they've also preset a whole bunch of other ones for like firing and jumping. Another important one is mouse. So mouse X, mouse Y, and mouse 0, they've named it fire. So these are probably all mouse. So this one's mouse right. The third one's probably mouse, yeah, mouse 2 is the middle mouse button. So that's the project settings. Another thing that we have to do, this model doesn't have material, so I'm going to quickly create a material. First I need to go to my old project, textures, I'll grab you know what, I'm not going to worry about that right now. First I'm going to do the scripts, and I'll do the materials later. So in the scripts folder, I'm going to create 2 scripts. So right click in the folder and create where is it? oh yeah, at the very top, C# script. So this one's going to be called player movement tutorial. And I'm going to create another one called camera controller tutorial. So I'm going to double click So when you double click it, Visual Studio opens up. If you don't have Visual Studio, all you need to do is go and download it. I'm also going to open the camera controller. Just going to make that big. So it automatically creates, comes with a start function and an update function. So if you have any experience with game development in a different engine like Unreal, you already know that there's, just say in Unreal, there's a thing called event begin play, which is this gets fired once at the beginning of a level. And this one update is every tick of the game. It constantly updates whatever code is within these brackets. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to select the female warrior, and I'm going to grab the player movement script and drag it onto the female warrior. I'm going to select the camera, and I'm going to drag and drop the camera controller script onto the camera. And with that done, I'm going to go back to the Visual Studio, and I'm going to start scripting. So for the first thing, so here we got the start and update, and right above it, this is where you store all your variables. So if you don't know what a variable is, it's basically anything that has values that are changeable or variable. So you can have booleans, floats, integers. I'll get more into it if you don't know what a variable is. I'll get more into it as we go along. But for now, the first thing that I need to create, I'm going to write private character controller. So private just means it's only visible within this particular script. So this, the one in green is the type of thing that I'm trying to create. In this on the right, even though it's the same name, I gave it the same name. The one in the white is just the name that I gave it. And right below it, I'm going to create private animator. And as you can see, if I give it the same name, I give it a lowercase, and the one with the uppercase is the actual component that I'm trying to create. So with that done, I need to go to the start function as soon as the level starts. Controller equals so basically I'm taking this character controller and I'm assigning it a value. So right now this is just like an empty sort of it's an empty variable. So I'm giving it some contents, I guess you can say. So character controller equals get component character controller. So you have to remember that this script is attached to the female warrior, and it's getting the component from the female warrior. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for our animator. Equals get components animator. So if I go back to Unity, it's getting these two components at the animator character controller. I'll go back up here. Serialize field. So what serialize field does, it creates it creates these little fields where you can change the value in the editor. So if I press compile, go back, as you can see, it takes a minute to compile. Go back in. Oops. All of a sudden it created these two fields in the bottom right. So that's what a serialized field. You can also use, instead of using serialized field, you can also use type in public as opposed to private. So I need to create a boolean. So you don't have to specify private or public or serialized field. You can just, if you leave that first part blank, it'll just assume, I guess, that it's private. And this boolean is going to be running. So it's going to be checking to see if it's running or not, true or false. And in the update, I want to do an if is I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to is running equals input dot get key code dot mouse 1. So basically it's checking to see if so mouse 1 is the code for the right mouse button. So it's checking to see if it's pressed. So if it's pressed, then this boolean is true. If it's not, then it's false. Just give me a second here. Okay, so below here, I'm going to create a float, get current speed, oops. So based on this piece of code right here, if the button is pressed and is running is true, that means it's the run speed is going to be selected. If it's is running is false, then walk speed is going to be selected. Right above that, I'm going to create a method called private void move. Nope. And within that, I'm going to create I'm creating a float. So this is another way of creating a variable. Instead of putting it up here where all the variables are, I can create another one called horizontal. So if you remember from the input manager, the horizontal is the left and right movement. So I'm getting the axis if there's any input from the A or D keys, times get current speed times time dot delta time. So this get current speed is the speed here that I created down here. Okay, right below that. Oh, sorry, there should be no, I don't know why I put a period there. Okay, do the same thing. I can probably just copy and paste this. Copy, paste. This time I want to call this vertical, and I'm getting the vertical input axis. And I want to take these two values. I'm going to create a vector 3 move vector equals new vector 3 . I'll just quickly mention that if you ever use a 0 or a decimal number, you have to put an F at the end of it. So what this does, it takes the horizontal and vertical, and it creates a move vector. So if it's moving, just to say moving forward and moving right at the same time, it's going to create a vector that's somewhere in between forward and right. So if, let's just say you're pressing W and D at the same time. With that, I'm going to create a vector 3 relative move vector equals quaternion angle axis. Well, this stuff, actually I don't need to do this one right now. This comes later. Okay, so here, character controller move. I'm making the character controller move in this move vector that I just created. And I think that's pretty good for now. In the update function, So because update is firing every tick, this is going to get fired every tick, which is basically this whole thing. So this is constantly happening. Okay, I need to go up here again, create another serialized field. Float. Float turn speed. Oops. And float and speed. Okay, so I need to go down here. Okay, I want to create another void rotate vector 3 vector. Okay, so before I do that, I'll show you. I'll just explain that this animator set float. It just sets. If you remember, the animator, it's got this speed. 0 is idle, walk is 0.5, and 1 is run. So this is just getting the move vector and checking to see if it's 0. If it's not, it's checking to see if it's running. If it's running, then it's 1. If it's not, then it's 5. And it sets the sets that as the anim speed. Okay, so this rotate function, the whole point of this is for the character, when you're just say pressing forward the W key, you want the character to move forward in relation to the camera. You don't just want it to move forward in the world transform, or the world forward direction. So in order to do that, this very last piece of, like this third line here, it takes all this that was calculated and it sets the transform rotation of the player to the new rotation, which is this here. If we go back into this new function, and if vectors on goal, vector 3, 0. I'm just going to change this to lowercase, press save, and oops, and take a few seconds. When that's done compiling with the theme over selected, I'm going to specify all these values. So walk speed 2, run speed 5, turn speed 5, and 0.2 for the anim speed. So if I hit play, okay, I forgot to put a decimal here. It was like this. I put a decimal so it's 0.5. And press save. And when I press now, press play now, can move around. So as you can see, I haven't dealt with the camera yet, so the camera's not following the player. And if I press the right mouse button, it runs. Okay. Before I go and do the coding for the camera, I'm going to go back into the scene view, and I just need to move the center of the camera. So if I select the camera here, as you can see, it's kind of far. I'm going to bring it much closer. I'm going to set the Y transform to 0, and I'm going to select the parent up to the chest area, because the script is on the camera parent, not the actual camera itself. So that's the thing that's going to be rotating. So if I select that, that's about a pretty good distance for a third-person camera. Okay, so with that, that done, I'm going to go into, so thus far I've dealt with the player movement tutorial script. Now I want to go to the camera controller script. And first thing is I'm going to create a serialized field, transform player, and in the update I'm going to create, I want to call a method called orbit player. And what that's going to do is every tick of the update, it's going to trigger this every tick. And in that, transform dot position equals player dot. The reason I'm doing that is because as you can see, the female warrior and the camera are two separate objects, and the camera is not parented to the female warrior. We could do it that way, but this is just another way to do it. And after that, we'll have to put a semicolon. Create another serialized field. Float camera sensitivity. And I want to create a float called yaw, float called pitch. And back in the orbit player method, I'm going to do yaw plus equals dot get axis mouse x times camera sensitivity times time delta time, and just copy and paste this. Oops. This is okay, so when you see a plus and equal, that means just say for this example, yaw plus whatever's over here, whatever that equals is the final value. So another way to put it is, if it was just a plus here and then an equal sign, then the whatever's on the other side of the equal sign is like this, the total value of these two together. So this is just another way of writing it out. another serialized field. Float min y max y. So this part I don't really fully understand. If there's gaps in my explanation, you'll have to excuse me because I get a lot of my information from other tutorials, and there's certain things I just don't understand. This is one of them. But I know that not exactly sure what this does. I remember seeing it in a tutorial, so I'm going to put it in anyways. Create another serialized field. Float rotation smooth time. And then underneath, I'm going to create a vector 3 called current rotation. Why did I do that? Vector 3. And another vector 3 rotation smooth velocity. So vector 3 is like 3 values, x, y, z. If you ever see a vector 2, it's just an x and y. So I'm going to go back into the orbit player method, and I want to add current rotation equals vector 3 dot smooth amp new vector 3 . So this part here, the pitch and yaw, the reason why, so pitch and yaw are these two pitch and yaws, the floats that I created up here. The reason why I'm making the pitch negative is I want the pitch to be flipped around so that I think when it's the normal way, it's kind of awkward. It just feels better if the looking up and down is flipped. Rough rotation smooth velocity rotation and finally transform so this basically sets the rotation of the camera based on the mouse input, as well as some of the values that will be set in the editor. And I need to save that for now. I'm going to go into the other script, the player movement script. Create a serialized field. I'm going to go into this move method here, and I'm going to underneath this move vector, I'm going to create another vector 3. I'm going to call it relative move vector. And that's going to equal quaternion dot angle axis camera rig, which is we just created, dot Euler angles dot y vector 3 dot up. We're going to multiply that by move vector. So this move vector is this one right above it, and because we've created this, we have to turn all of these move vectors below into relative move vector. Relative move vector. Relative move vector. Oops. And it's all case sensitive, so make sure you get all the uppercase and lowercase letters correct. Just going to double check everything here. Okay, that looks good. And okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the coding. So I'm going to save that. Just wait for that to compile. First, I'm going to select the female warrior. I have to remember to drag the camera into this field here. Then I want to select the camera, and I have to specify all these values. So the first one is the player. Camera sensitivity 500. Minus 45 for the min Y, max Y 30. Rotation smooth is 8. So if I just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and press play. So now everything works fine. So if I spin the camera around and just say I move back, then she moves back toward the camera. If I move forward, she moves forward in relation to the camera. It all looks really good. The problem is maybe I should have kept the camera Y 0. Maybe it was a mistake. Let's see what that looks like. Well, that's not it either. Maybe it has to be higher. Originally I had it at the chest. Maybe it needs to be maybe near the head. That's not it either. I'll come back to that in a minute. For now, I'm going to deal with the. Actually, first, it's a good idea to save project and also save as. And when you save as, you're saving this scene. So this is a sample scene. Okay. First, I want to deal with the textures. So this model has several geometries. So I want to go in here in the models, female warrior default pose, and if I press this arrow, it shows you all the geometry. So there's the body, the armor, helmet, body, armor, helmet, teeth, and eyeball. So that's 5 things. So if I click here, I'm just going to verify. On the right hand side, there's like 4 parts to it. If you click on material, yep, there's 5 things. So what I need to do is I'm going to go to assets, textures folder. I'm going to dump those textures in there. So body color, armor color, eye color, teeth color. What was the other one? Oh, it's helmet. Color. Okay, so copy paste. Gotta go back in here. So, oh, it did it automatically. Great. Okay. For some reason, when I imported these textures, it loaded them automatically. I think what it did is all the stuff you see here is all the information that's embedded within the FBX. So it also has all the materials. So when I imported or when I added those textures into that folder, I think it automatically updated the materials within the FBX. But I'm just going to leave it like that for now. But normally what I would do is I would select the default pose, and with the materials created within the materials folder, I would take those materials and dump them into these slots. That way you can customize the materials the way it is right now. If I go back in here and select these materials, it's all grayed out, so I can't really customize it, which is not very good, especially if you're an artist and you want to have more control over everything. It's better if you create materials in the materials folder and then dump them in. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. But right now it looks fine, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. One thing that I found was as far as the camera parent and the main camera. The camera parent, I found it was better just to leave the position as 0, and to move the main camera up, and it's better to adjust the camera position and just leave the camera parent at 0. So now if I play it, it'll take a second for it to load up. Everything looks pretty good. So if I turn the camera around, just say if I have the camera in that position, but I press the W button, which is forward, then it will move forward in relation to the camera position. Same thing with all the different directions. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, I think that's enough for this tutorial. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be doing more videos in this series, and I'll just be building on this. I'll be adding just say weapons, swords and guns, and also enemies. And eventually, I'll build an entire level just to walk you through all the different things that you can do within a level. So I hope you like this video. Yeah, and hope to see you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.